Dr. Pauline Plummer. Come on, we can thank God for the First Lady of Israel. Maybe God may use the children of some slaves to talk to some other slaves and tell them we were slaves too, but the Lord brought us out and we are now free ourselves. Who knows? We have work to do. It's time to go to work in Israel. God bless you.
I don't know. I think you ought to stand up. Children of slaves, we ought to stand up and just praise the name of the Messiah, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Yeshua is his name.
The Plumbers are moving to Israel. We have a home there.
We have a home there, but our home here is actually being emptied as we speak. In other words, that's our new home.
Yeah.
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
But we're not going as tourists this time. The whole point of tonight is we're moving to Israel. And we're going to build a bridge, and we're going to open a door by the grace of God.
We're looking for God to do some amazing things in establishing the Kojic Israel jurisdiction.
If we had to sum up the purpose of the church, what is a church called to do? In my very strong opinion, it boils down to two simple things. One is to win souls, and second is to make disciples. Disciple making is really the big call of the church.
That's exactly the call and the mission and the goal of the church. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
We have not told you what we're actually going to do there.
Right.
We intend on doing some major things, which will include an institute.
Very exciting.
And we will have people coming doing study abroad programs months at a time. We will have a grand platform of communication. You know, everyone is now finally getting on television. Because we're in media and in television, and we teach you, and we lead people to the Lord, and we teach people the various things they need to know, we can't baptize them. You know why? Because it takes the physical touch. Yes. So in order to baptize people, you got to physically be there. Okay? So it's not enough just to be there electronically. It's not enough to be on television or radio, but you've got to physically be on the ground to baptize people, and that's important to know.
First, he tells them to go. Then he tells them to teach, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost. So he tells them to go, he tells them to teach, and then he tells them to baptize them, to immerse them. Amen.
Teach all nations. Teach, we understand what teach is. All, we understand all. That's every nation. So the church is commissioned. The church is charged to go forth and to teach, to instruct all nations. If you do follow Jesus' ministry and see what he did, he made disciples. He had 12 of them, and he built a whole kingdom out of that.
Disciple is one who accepts and assists in spreading the doctrines or the teachings of another. You don't have to be a preacher, amen, to fulfill the Great Commission. The Great Commission is spreading the good news, the gospel message of Jesus Christ.
And I am so thrilled that God has opened the door for us to go into Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria, from the uttermost part of the world back to Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria as the First Lady of Israel, and myself as the new Bishop Designate of Israel. And so as we go in with a great army of prayer warriors, a great army of servants, as we go in to serve, as we go into to do humanitarian work, as we go in to teach, as we go in to love people, praise God, the door is open. But most importantly, we're going in as witnesses. Hallelujah. We're going in as witnesses. You will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere.
Everywhere.
In Jerusalem, throughout Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. We are called to tell people everywhere about Jesus.
Make sure you tell somebody about Jesus.
Win souls
Yes.
and make disciples. We'll see you later.
Faith to believe it.